Welcome to episode 49 of the Fitasylum podcast. Today we're back with H. How are you doing, H?
I'm good. Almost at half a century.
Half a century, that's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, for anyone listening, what was your celebration at cricket, if you ever played cricket, when you got a half century? Was it a muted one, or was
I
it
never
like...
got to 50, so...
Was it like an all-out... I remember, like, when my brother did it, he tried to be muted because he was like, no, I should be expecting to get to 100.
Yeah, should be getting to 100 every time.
But at club cricket, you very rarely get to 100.
I was a swinger.
Just went in there and swung from the hip.
Someone used to throw a couple of pies at me and just get out because I'd be trying to hit over the fences. I didn't go very far.
What other things in life do you like celebrate half century in? Life?
Yeah, well, people don't like celebrating 50 birthdays because you feel like they're old, don't they? But I feel like that's quite young these days, isn't it, really? I mean, Dave's a young 60, aren't you? So, you know, he's doing all right.
If you've seen our post about the scales, he is a young 60.
Very young 60, yeah. Younger than me, really, technically, in metabolic age.
Yeah, definitely. He was younger than all of us, I think, which is partly shameful for us.
Impressive. Well, yeah, also very impressive as well. So depends how you look at it.
Yeah, we look on the positive side. Impressive for Dave.
Yeah.
Not so much for us, H. Anyway, H, how was your weekend?
Yeah, good. I was actually teaching full weekend of massage for the first time for a while. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
It was good getting in there. I had a bit of a tag word for the couple of days, which was pressure. So I was singing Encanto to him, just to make sure they remember.
Are you going to give us a rendition?
Pressure. No, I'm all right.
Get in the comments, guys. Would you like to see
a funny dance on the stories? Yeah.
H start the next podcast with his rendition of Pressure?
I'm sure everyone's seen the film Encanto because it's pretty probably.
So, probably.
Anyone with kids.
Pressure is kind of a big buzzword at the moment, whether it be in sport or whether it be in training. Yeah. I know for me, like, one thing, I had a lesson at golf a few months ago, and it was like, how are you going to create pressure situations in practice?
Right, okay.
I know it's something I'm really big with my clients on. How do we reenact pressure? So one way we do it is we'll do like a comp demo.
Nice.
So we might do like, you only get 3 goes at each. We try and put the same music on, the same atmosphere. We go through judge commands.
Yeah, they do that in sport, don't they, quite a lot?
Yeah. I guess it's imagery.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And on a more relevant topic or more recent topic, I don't know if you've seen the YouTube episode with Anthony Gordon and Gary Neville. No. It was really surprising, real eye-opener about the psychology of sport.
Okay.
How he starts prepping on a Thursday for a Saturday game.
Right. This Gary Neville, yeah.
No, this is Anthony Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Gary Neville's interviewing him, and after the game, they all get sent the video straight away of the match.
Wow.
The full match, and they also get individual videos of their highlights.
Yeah.
And Anthony Gordon said he can't sleep until he's watched it all. He's watched it both straight after the game, which is crazy, isn't it?
You can't sleep anyway, so
yeah, exactly.
Not gonna help, is it?
We'll definitely do a podcast on the kind of come down from competition or come down from big events. I know I had it like when I'd done like a marathon or when I'd done a powerlifting comp, or I always have that come down on the other side of it.
You can't sleep, can you?
No.
So you're reliving every single little moment that happened, even if good or bad.
My other half likened it once. She went, "Is it like when you come back off holiday?" I was like, actually it is in a weird way.
Wishing you were still there.
Yeah. So yeah, it was all a fun.
What about yourself? You were teaching, right?
Teaching on Saturday, absolutely fantastic, great day, absolutely loved it. I don't know if you saw the messages in the podcast, in the WhatsApp groups.
I saw a couple, they were pretty happy.
Students just raving about it, which was fantastic. Yeah. Dave came out on Friday and did a observation of myself, and I think that's one of my favourite things about Fitasylum is we're always looking to develop, we're always looking to get better. And although some people may say like, oh no, it must be painful your boss coming out, having a look and seeing how you're getting on, I actually look at it a completely different way. I love that pressure of that we're always trying to develop and we're always trying to get better. It's probably the reason why I believe we're the best provider. And I say that all the time, and people are like, oh, you're going to be too cocky, or that's too brash saying that, too egotistical.
We need to win a few awards now. How do we get in all this awards? We need to get into this, don't we? We need to submit ourselves.
I inquired about which awards, and they got back to us a few times, but they said it takes up to 24 months. Yeah. But it's been over 2 years now.
A lot of these are sort of money incentive awards.
Yeah, definitely.
You pay a bit and you get what you want out of it. So.
But yeah, my weekend, and on Sunday I played comp at golf, which was good. Yeah, I didn't do very well.
All right.
But I enjoyed it and I played okay. But I've had a bad I've had a nerve problem for a few weeks now,
Okay.
and I keep getting fluid build up on my knee, which is
You're a bit of a sick note, aren't you? Really?
basically, the body is just my friends call me glass back, which is it's not a nice term, but it's not been my back for a while, touch wood. It's just lots of other little niggle injuries that probably come from the back injury, like at the weekend yesterday when I trained last night. We were discussing with the coaches about me having underactive glutes, and that's why my hamstrings are activating more. Right. But yeah, so that's something to work on, and I do work on it every morning. I try and get glute activation. I try and look after my knees. Try and do a little bit of flexibility every day.
And how's that working for you?
Not great, obviously. I'm injured. But no,
maybe it'd be worse though if you didn't. You don't know, do you? That's the other side of the coin, isn't it? You don't know how bad it could be.
Going back to that podcast with Gary Neville and Anthony Gordon, it was the fact that they said they couldn't go into a match not knowing that they've done these things. It's the confidence they get from it. It's a tick list, isn't it? It's the same from me. Like I wouldn't go and play golf if I hadn't spent half an hour warming up first.
Yeah, okay.
I hate it.
I probably just need to do that because I don't.
Half an hour warm up just beforehand, just a few chips, a few putts, hit a couple of shots. It fills me with confidence.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked off podcast a little bit about what we're going to do today, and there was no planning or anything like that.
No.
It was just born from a couple of conversations that me and you had over the weekend with other people, not with ourselves, and then Dave chipped in with a fantastic article from November, 30th of November 2023, so very recent. So by the time this podcast goes out, that article is probably 6 months old. But it was from the managing director at Active IQ, who is the awarding body of our qualifications, Jenny Patrickson. I hope I'm saying that right. And the title is Education courses claiming to provide certificates for personal trainers overnight have been around for a long time, and sadly, post-pandemic, there has been a rise in low-cost, low-quality training options. So that's the first statement, but the actual title, of the article is Why Quick, Cheap PT Courses Are Putting the Fitness Industry at Risk, which is something we've always said.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot, don't we?
For someone from Active IQ to put out an article like this is very strong, but it's also bang on. She hits the nail on the head.
Strong words needed because it is almost like an epidemic in the industry, really. These cut price courses pop up everywhere. You see them on Facebook, you see them on Instagram. Everyone sees the ads pop up. Oh, do your PT course £500, $499, or there's an offer on. You get this free course, get that free course. And you're thinking, well, that's fine. And for someone who hasn't got a lot of money, which is probably quite a lot of people, you're gonna take that option, aren't you? Because I get the qualification, that means I can get a job.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're not going to be able to be successful in that job because you're not even half prepared for what the actual realities of the industry, and you know that from what the actual industry takes and demands from you.
I mean, the statistics are still out there that 9 out of 10 PTs don't make it in their first year, which is so sad.
It's mad bad,
and that's
really,
why one of our kind of pride and joys from our qualification is that we really, really focus on helping our students set up realistically, and also making sure that the expectations are there of what to expect when they go into the industry. So we do a mentorship after they finish the qualification. They get 30 days for free, and there's 60 videos on there for the students to go and watch. We have a mentorship group. We keep in contact with our students to check their progress, see if they need any support. I can't even count how many students we've helped post-course. Yeah. So many. Yeah. Even just setting them up interviews, prepping them for interviews, helping them in the industry. I mean, it was probably fantastic for Dave to come out on Friday. We had a former student who had gone full circle 2 years ago, done a course in Liverpool with us. She's gone on to be a personal trainer. She'd just done an equal a couple of months ago and has started teaching personal training, or just getting into teaching personal training. And she understands that she's very new with that industry, so she's taking it really slow, and she's still PTing full time, which is fantastic. Yeah. So it's really good to see students' full stories like that. But we see students all the time doing so well, whether it be through the mentorship group, whether it be through social media, or whether it be they just ring us up and tell us how they're doing, or when we ring up and check how they're doing.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, even if you just look at some of the providers, they might have good branding, good marketing, but realistically, when you're offering a course for £500, the level of quality that's going to provide, it can't be good because your top line profit is minimal. Yeah. So they're going to cut costs at every corner.
They have to.
And they're not going to be with awarding bodies like Active IQ, who we're with, who support quality and do good, offer excellent resources like manuals and e-learning. None of that's going to be present. So even the students getting disvalue from whatever they're buying, fully online, which there is a market and argument for online, it's just the way you deliver it. But these These are multiple, tutors with hundreds of students.
Yeah.
You're doing classroom sessions with 16, 17, 20 kids, people at one time. I just don't see how it's physically possible to get them ready for the industry.
No, we are really, really big on quality. As I said, Dave came out on Friday to have a look at how I was teaching and to get the feedback from the students. But the other thing we always do is ask the students for feedback. But not only that, we act on it.
Yeah.
And we also have strict guidelines in place of how many students a tutor can have, how many can be in a classroom. Even just little things like Sophie had 8 students recently on one of her courses, and Harry sent me there to help her assess for the day, just to make sure it was a great experience for the students, but also the tutor didn't feel overwhelmed. So we are, I would say, probably the gold standard in the UK for delivering courses. But I think you get what you pay for with anything in industry.
Because no doubt we are more expensive, and we do kind of say that, but we have the funded option. It's different altogether. But even so, you do get what you pay for, because we have the best resources. We have even our own student handbook where we've collated podcasts, resources, reading materials, stuff that's not built into Active IQ. We do feel like we go above and beyond, but some of them, I do question what you're actually going to get, and I feel bad for the people, because £500 spent is a £500 lost.
Yeah.
Because you go into the industry, you get a job with the likes of Total Fitness or Pure Gym. We were talking about the expectations they have, and they're just going to exit the industry, and you've wasted £500 there because it's an industry specific qualification.
Yeah, so a student was telling me on Saturday, I think it was, or Friday, that they had been for an interview recently, and it shocked me at how tough the interview was. So basically, I won't name the companies, but these are some of the different interview processes that basically I've spoke to people about over the weekend, because this one piqued my interest. So then I was wondering how other companies did it. So this company in particular, who the student was unsuccessful at getting the job, but they had...
Interesting that, actually, just because you'd assume you go for an interview, you get a job, because PTs is such a high need.
Exactly,
But it's not always true.
But it's not always true. So 20 odd people turned up for the interview. It was a group interview to start with, and then they cut, I think, half of them straight away within a couple of hours.
Interesting.
They had some lunch, they came back, and when they came back, they were set a task to go and build and create their own CPD, so they had to put it on a platform and present it the next day.
Like a topic that they're interested in and something to teach about. And
it had to be a topic that they thought was relevant. So it couldn't be anything, and they were really strict. They gave loads of examples apparently, and they gave previous examples from other interview processes. So this process must have been developed over the last 6 months, because I know other students who have got jobs there who that wasn't the interview process for. So it must be a relatively new process. So basically, they had to go and create their own CPD, put it on a platform, and showcase it the next day. And he even said after they give the talk and kind of set the task, they had 24 hours to come back the next day and deliver it. He said, if you've not got it set up on a platform and you don't think it's professional, don't bother turning up.
Great.
So that was fantastic. And that's day one of the interview process.
And I would say fair play to him, really. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because even if you don't get the job, you now understand the expectations required from you to be a successful PT. You speak to all the successful PTs you've spoken to, we've delivered to. They have a certain communication style, delivery, knowledge, ability to convey information that is required to be successful.
100%.
Not everyone has that, so you can't just assume that you do.
So, and then I spoke to 5 other former students, how were their interview processes, because they all worked with different gyms, and there was a common theme. Social media is a big theme now. Creating content is a huge theme.
Leads,
It's part of the sales, it's part of the image of the company, and it's also part of how you market and sell your business. The second one that became really obvious was the ability to speak to customers and showcase excellent, and I don't mean good, I don't mean great, I mean excellent communication skills. It was a huge thing in terms of presenting yourself, your business, the company. And the third one that was really evident was the ability to explain what your business is and how you will grow your business within that existing business gym.
I mean, that last point, to be fair, is quite tricky in a way, because I do know you do get qualified. Even we have students as well get qualified. They don't 100% know what their niche is. They don't know what their USP is. It takes time to find that. But I guess maybe...
But if you were honest about that, I don't think they'd be bothered. I don't think that's an issue. If you go, this is my idea for the first 6 months, I'm going to develop a niche, I'm going to test X, Y, and Z clients. This is the area I'm thinking of. This is where I can see myself in 1, 2, 3, 4 years. Then that's fine. the problem they were having, by the sounds of it, was students going, I have no idea, I was hoping you were just going to lead me.
Yeah, tell me what my USP is.
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
If a student is going, this is how I'm going to develop, that's fine. And, you know, we do CPDs for free for all our students for the lifetime. I don't know any other provider that do that.
No.
Completely free CPD for the rest of your life. One of those CPDs might be your niche.
Yeah.
And if you're looking to develop, you might end up starting doing that, which is fantastic. You know, and that leads us on to, you know, back onto this article. Low quality education erodes the credibility of the entire industry is the first half of the sentence that Jenny put in here.
Which is pretty true.
Low quality education. And it's so true. You know, true, if you go with a poor provider, they're not bothered if you get a job.
No.
They're not bothered about making sure you're industry ready. They want to do the bare minimum that gets you the certificate.
Yeah.
The entire industry, the credibility of the industry. The PT industry hasn't always had and doesn't have a great reputation for a multitude of reasons. But then the next bit leads us on to, and it also is a risk for health for people who, with limited experience in training people with a broad range of needs. Stuff like I see qualifications that don't even discuss diabetes, cardiorespiratory disease. They don't talk about exercise referral courses being options. They don't talk about common medical conditions. They don't talk about PARQs, waivers. They don't talk about client consultations, the importance of them. If you're doing a course where, you know, you don't necessarily need to come in and go for an observation of client consultation, make sure you've done the waivers, make sure you've done the PARQ, you know, that's the first hurdle. It's the first step. Like we just mentioned, interview processes. Some gyms are asking you to speak to between 3 and 5 people and try and sign one of them up. Well, part of that means client consultation and getting them signed up correctly and make sure you've got insurance in place. Some providers won't even talk about insurance. We talk about insurance, we give you a PARQ and a waiver. You know, on the course, you can download the PARQ and the waiver and you can go into business straight away. In the mentorship group, we've given you the next level where you can put your own logo on a white label product, ready to go. And, you know, we talk about how you would adapt that on Canva potentially. We use assignments that use Canva because it's industry ready. It's showing you how to do it. And we will link that to industry consistently. So when students say to us, why are we creating a health poster? Why are we talking about common medical conditions in the biosocial sphere? Well, this is why, because it's relevant to social media. You need to use an app such as Canva or CapCut to create it because that's what you'll be using in the industry to sell your business and market.
So we're setting you up for what they expect, not what we expect. We didn't write the qualification, but we understand if you make it industry relevant, it's going to be transferable to wherever you are, whatever gym you go to.
You say there we don't write the qualification. Obviously, Active IQ write the qualification, and you know they are the gold standard in PT quals at the moment. But we do speak to industry partners. We have so many industry partners that we speak to make sure the content we deliver is industry relevant. You know, we've just gone above and beyond to create really excellent videos on stuff like squat, bench, deadlift, and how you would chain and rechain the exercise, how you would deal with clients with valgus knee, how you'd make sure the client is bracing correctly. I don't know any other provider who does that.
No, not to that detail. It's all sort of baseline.
In America, there's lots of them. You know, a lot of my CPPS courses, although they're not recognised over here, are fantastic qualifications, which it baffles me. I always say, actually, I learned a lot more on my American quals than I did at my university qual or even my qualification I did as a personal trainer, just because the level of detail and I guess the amount of education and information they gave consistently even after the course has been amazing. Even little things like last week me and Harry discussed how we're going to get mass research and journals into groups and how we can show high level students how to develop. So not only are we talking about basics for lower level students, medium level students, but also how do we push high level students. We spoke to Dave when he came on Friday about how we've set up an interview for a girl and she's only 3 or 4 weeks into the course. That's her job position is set up. She's already ready to go into a role.
And then we can then actually do individualization, which we do for every student, and say, right, what do you need for that job role, how to be successful, and we will help you in that during the course, not as an extra fee, not as an extra service, but a part of the course that you win.
Another line here from ActiveIQ on what can learners look for to ensure a wise investment is the question. And going back to what you said, it's you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
If if you go to a poor quality physio who isn't well trained, you're not going to get a good service.
No.
If you go to a physio, pay a little bit more, and they fix that injury, how much is that worth to you? It's worth a lot for me personally. But anyway, the next line is look for a regulated training program, ideally with ActiveIQ, who is an accredited provider.
Yeah.
We only work with training providers who can demonstrate certain levels of competence and quality.
Yeah.
Competence and quality. Always look for quality. If they look like they're, offering lots of great workshops, if they've got lots of in-person days, if they're making sure that you're developing practically as well as theory-based, then that's a fantastic qualification in my eyes. You've got to make sure that there's a range of different learning styles. So for instance, we offer the ActiveIQ e-learning, we offer our own workshops that we deliver live, but you can watch them recorded. We do in-person days, we do online teach, we do half classroom, half gym based. We offer the student handbooks. We've even designed our own manuals recently because we're constantly looking to develop. Yeah. It is crazy how good our quality is. And I think we would be, both of us would be really honest if there was something that was glaringly obvious that we needed to work on.
I think maybe just some tips if you're looking at different providers and you're thinking, well, actually, I'm listening to this. I've seen Fitasylum on Instagram. And you're thinking, well, why would I choose them over someone who's £500? Good question. So a couple of things are, if you're doing an in-person course, how many days are there? Yeah. So I saw recently a massage course of only 3 in-person workshops. That would be a massive red flag because realistically, how can you practically be ready? What kind of resources they're offering and how much of those resources that they're offering?
Yeah, so I've done the massage course with us, and am I correct in thinking there's 5 main techniques we teach?
Yes.
So the idea is that you deliver one training technique. Once you've delivered that training technique on one day, then the idea is that you practice it and develop it and you'll be assessed on it.
Yeah.
How on earth do you get 5 training techniques where you get to actually practice them and then go on from there and actually deliver them and be assessed on them within 3 days?
That's not possible.
Just baffles me.
You can do all the theory in the world, but when we do a massage course in person, I'm physically going around correcting someone's posture, technique, like pressure, like I was saying in the buzzword at the start. Like there's things that you need to do and repeat on, rinse and repeat over a period of time. And also, how long is the course lasting for? That's a big one for me because yes, there might be a place for condensed courses done in the right way, but in general, you need time to layer learning to make sure you actually take it in, apply it, and then be assessed on it. How can you do that in sort of a week's span? It doesn't make any sense. So a red flag would be time, how many days, what resources are available. And to be fair, it's an ActiveIQ article, but they are, high quality. So if it is an ActiveIQ regulated qual, then that will be better than some of the others.
100%. And just to round this off is there's a statement here that says this is a major issue for our industry and something we must tackle together. So everyone does have to chip in, and that's why we're talking about it today. But in the comments, let us know what you liked about your qualification, what you didn't like. And this doesn't have to be a PT qual, it could be any qualification in the world. It could be what you enjoyed at school, college, university, anything. We're always looking to developers. We've reiterated a number of times. What do you enjoy about education? How can education develop? I'd be really interested to know everyone's thoughts.
Have you done a cut price qual and you thought it was amazing? I would like to know why you think that, and also maybe if you got some different stories about that, because we will share them on socials. Tell them your story and we'll share them as well because people need to know.
Awesome. See you on the other side. Welcome back to the podcast, guys. We are going to go through some questions that you guys have asked. You've asked these questions through Instagram, whether it be just dropping in a message, whether you've put it in the little text box on our stories. So if you're not following us, make sure you are. And these are also some questions from students from in-person courses as well as the mentorship group. So H, do you want to take us away?
Yeah, so okay, first question is, how do you prep for a PT interview? So I'm assuming this is at a commercial gym.
Okay, so there is differences, and I'll go through both. I get this question 10 times a month. So first thing I always say is...
answer it 10 times a month, sorry.
Yeah, I answer it, and it's developed. It's good.
Post this video.
Yeah, I could just send them this video now, this little clip. But no, first thing I would do if you are prepping for a interview for a PT's position is I would research the gym. So have a look where it is, have a look what their member and client base.
Gym, you mean, not the
the current gym. I'd also look at the brand as well for what they're looking at. So for instance, if you're looking at a Nuffield, they also look at GP referrals, they look at other sort of health, medical conditions. They kind of have that holistic approach from that side of things. If you're going to say a JD gym, it's probably like a younger clientele, similar to an Everlast. So it depends. If you're going to like a David Lloyd's or a Badentime, that's usually an older characteristic and clientele. So have a look at the gym. You know, for instance, if you're a tennis coach, you might want to go and work at a David Lloyd that has a tennis court. So kind of fit that around your niche and your business. The next bit would be to speak to as many personal trainers that work there currently or have worked there. This is my number one tip for if you are going for an interview at a gym, is speak to existing staff members, PTs, because they'll give you the real lowdown on what's going to, you know, be likely to be spoke about in the interview, what the process is like to be, but also what it's like to work there. And that leads me on to my next point. The other biggest thing I say is don't be afraid to go in and ask questions, assert yourself on them in terms of how many clients do you currently have at the gym? What's your client retention? What are PTs usually earning? You know, how many active members? Have you got any statistics to show me on how many members you currently have and how many are active? So they'd be my 3 tips. Research the business, the brand, and the gym that you're looking at being employed at. Speak to employees, i.e. PTs that already work there or have worked there. And the last one is to have your own set of questions to come back at and make sure you ask the interviewer.
Yeah, great. I mean, a lot of that stuff there is about you promoting yourself, self-confidence, communication, leadership skills by actually going out there and asking someone off the bat. So if that comes back to the people that are interviewed, they'll notice that and go, well, this person's already gone out of their way, their communication skills are good, and also build a reputation with the PTs already there. So that is a big advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. We had a PT recently who was looking for a job somewhere. And I said, right, if you're going to have to go through this interview process where you have to speak to 3 clients on the gym floor and you have to ideally get one of them to sit down with you and go for a client consultation. Okay, so what I want you to do is prep for that, go and practice. You know, go through every stage of that process. I would bring your iPad in, have it set up with your consultation on, have it set up with a waiver form on, have it your Stripe set up ready so that you can actually take payment if you'd started that day, because the gym will be really impressed that you're set up and ready to go. I also said have your rough business plan ready, even have a full business plan if you wanted to, because they'll inevitably ask you the question of where are you going to be in 1 year's time? Where do you see yourself going? How will our gym help you develop? And you can go, well, actually, this is how I'm going to develop, but this is also how I'm going to develop your gym. So I would say they were my key points. 3 key points on how you can develop.
Because a lot of the other stuff you can pretty much develop on your own in terms of your business plan, your USPs. You can develop that over time, but I think if you're showing a certain level of confidence, commitment, and ability to ask questions, that shows some of those softer skills that are probably more important.
Yeah, and when a PT is prepping for a PT interview, I always say to them, think of it as a partnership rather than you're working for them. So who is going to be a good partner for you to work with?
You will want to go self-employed at some point, won't you? So it's...
Well, I think it's something like 89% of PTs are self-employed anyway.
So it is going to be your business at some point. So like you say, a partnership is the best way to view it. Is it right for you as well as them being right? I mean, that's any job really. I would always say that job has to be right for you, otherwise you both won't be successful.
It's very important in personal training. Is like there'd be no point in me going into a normal commercial gym that didn't have powerlifting equipment.
Okay, yeah, because that's your niche, isn't it? And you know that, so that's fine. And not everyone knows their niche. I'm not saying that.
I look for specific pieces of equipment, so I want to make sure that they've got a reverse hyper ideally and a GHD, as well as platforms, what bars they have, what bumper plates they have, do they have bump plates, do they have comp plates, all these sort of things, what other services are available within that gym, so you know, does it fit my business now and in the future?
So you're roughly about 5 gyms in the UK then for you, is it?
Yeah, that's why I opened up my own.
Oh, there you go. There's an option for you. Very good. So the next question is, what other CPDs would we recommend? What are some good current CPDs that are working quite well for people right now? And these might be free, they could be paid. I would say more low level ones and not sort of high ticket items.
We'll give like kind of a low cost option, a medium cost option, and a high end option. So like a low cost option, I would say there's lots of great free CPD out there, whether it be our platform. So if you just go to Google, you could type in Fitasylum Academy and you'll get free CPD there. But also if you just typed in free CPD for personal trainers in Google, you'll see a lot lot of great providers who offer fantastic CPD, but something like YouTube is great as well. Podcasts, that's great as a low-cost means, but you'll have to do a lot more of your own research, but you'll also have to do a lot of your own type-up and write-up. So, for instance, if you're using the SimSpa CPD log, it'll ask you what impact you've got from that video. It'll ask you how you're going to use that in your practice. So make sure you think about that.
Just on the free option before you go to the mid, one's quite well we use it in the company, and Sinead stood there right there, is that we recommend Google. Because if you want to learn about social media, about Google Analytics,
that's
you can do ads or posting, there's free courses on how to do all of those within the Google sphere. I mean, so that's
Google's a great option anyway, because you've got Google Journals as well if you're a bit of a geek like me and you want to look at data. And that leads us nicely onto the medium option, which people are probably sick of me banging on about, but mass research, really cheap, less than £20 a month, can't remember exactly how much, but you get lots of videos, you get lots of journals. They make the data easy and digestible. They do Q&As. It's just fantastic for development, and it's such a wide range of topics, whether it be nutrition, supplementation, gym equipment, gym techniques, whether it be new research done, whether it be research done on old research. It's just so good. And I think the thing that really appealed to me was the videos made it stupid simple, as they call it, which is what's needed for me.
Isn't there something to do with the pre-script you always recommend as well, don't you? Is that sort of
the one I'm
is that the high ticket? I thought so. I wasn't quite sure.
I'm too predictable, guys, clearly. But yeah,
just because you talk about it so much.
Prescript is one that I did a couple of courses with many years ago. And they just have fantastic resources, and they have fantastic education. They're so strict on the quality. They're so strict on having the personnel to deliver absolutely unrivaled quality.
The best of the best teaching the masses on how
it is a North American based company. We're hoping to do a partnership. I actually have a meeting with them this Thursday at 3:45. I actually need to speak to Sinead about setting them up an encrypted login. So
very good. That sounds fun for her.
Just an FYI. But I have been looking into it, and hopefully we'll be doing a collaboration with them soon.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I already have a collaboration lined up for the 9th of May with one of their tutors.
Right.
Any more questions, pal?
So the next question is, what social media accounts do we recommend? I'll probably go first just to get mine out of the way. So mine's probably non-fitness. I'm not as in the know as you are, but I like podcasts that are talking about sort of lifestyle, about business, about how productivity. And mine's the Diary of a CEO on Instagram and podcasts.
Controversial.
And stuff like that. I like different people having interviews, giving their own take, and taking what I want from those different posts and YouTube as well, obviously, on podcast.
Guys, let us know what you think of the Diary of a CEO. He's been getting a lot of flack recently, especially around some of his guests and some of his thumbnails, around the topics that he's covering and the information that he's going through. But I love his podcasts. I think they're very informative, but some of it might be misleading. Some of the research might not be accurate. So
I think that's why you need to be constructive in your own thoughts and opinions and take what you want from it, which is what I try to do from a lot of social media, and not just take it as it always comes, but take what I want from it, and there's always value in whatever people say. So
100%. There's always value. You can learn from everything. I said to my students at the weekend, there's a student called Thurin, and she worked in a lot of sales and marketing and customer facing businesses, and honestly I learned so much from her communication. It's fantastic. Dave, how good is Thurin's communication?
Very in-depth.
It's unbelievable. It's just so good. But social media recommendations, let's get some out there. So the Fitness Chef, absolutely love his content. Someone who has been open about struggling to make social media content, and he's one of the biggest in the industry now. The Fitness Chef. Sinead will drop some of these either on the screen, or she'll pop them in the description usually. She's amazing like that. Let's get some other ones up there. I'm just trying to scroll through mine and see which ones I've
one big, we've had him on the podcast to be fair, but Strongman Media, if you're talking about marketing advice.
Strongman or Strong Media?
Strong Media, is it Strong Media? Sorry, that's my fault. He was going to hit me for that. But in terms of marketing tips, how to create content, how to create viral content, how to go from 0 to 100, it is the best in there in terms of offering actual free advice, to be fair to him. He's got his own different paid plans, but the free content he offers, to be fair, is like very high value.
So if you want to check that out, it's Simon_strongmedia_.
Thanks for actually putting the real handle them.
So yeah, that's a fantastic social media account for anyone looking to develop their kind of social media side of things. So we've talked about nutrition, we've talked about social media, we've talked about a general one. But guys, get in the comments, let us know some of your favourite social media accounts. We'll probably do this a little bit more regular because there's loads of social media accounts I recommend.
Yeah.
There's a lad called Sean in Ireland who does fantastic nutrition chats. So yeah, I'll recommend some more later down the line. But one kind of just takeaway is go and look up Naudi Aguilar, who owns Functional Patterns, if you really want to develop some kind of out-of-the-box thinking, and also Coach Gators, who has been on the podcast before.
Yeah,
who's
to be fair, I do
fantastic.
like Coach Gators stuff on the ground when it comes up.
Yeah, what's the next question, pal?
Well, so there's no more questions, but we did want to introduce a new seg. I like what in podcasters call segs, segments. So we're going to introduce the cool wall for gyms, and I didn't come up with this tier system. It was Sinead's idea, so I'll let Dec describe the tier system for how we're going to describe these.
Yeah, so something me and my friends have done it for a long time, where we have like a little tier system, and it was similar to what they had in Top Gear, where they had the Sub-Zero, cool, uncool, and all that, and I love that, and that was one of my favourite segments of the show. Yeah. So we're going to introduce it here, but we're going to make it bigger and better. So we have a tier system. Apparently this is from, I think, gaming. But we've got S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and then the flop. Let's just clarify that the C tier is like the average.
Yeah, well, it's like past your GCSEs, isn't it? You're happy with maths and C, C pass, you're happy with that.
Yeah, we were pretty happy, just go in and pass your GCSEs. The flop tier, obviously, will be more controversial, and the S tier will obviously be opinionated amongst ourselves. So I'll kickstart stuff. I would say my gym was probably like B tier. It had a great equipment. We had Alico equipment. We had great atmosphere, and we had fantastic coaches. But what kind of let it down a little bit is it was in Preston, in Ashton, Preston. It wasn't in the best location.
Right.
In the winter, it was freezing. In summer, it was cold. But
I like how you're reviewing your own gym. Though.
Yeah, exactly. I loved it, but there's loads of stuff I'd change now.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of the clients would rate it in a higher tier, but I'm going to be really honest with these tiers, and I'm going to be really strict as well. Yeah. I would say Cane Training, where I train at currently, is probably like an A tier. And if you're looking for an S tier gym, I would say something like Mo Power, which is in Bolton. He doesn't just take people in. Normally, you have to contact him and see if you can get in. Wow. He used to let me train on Christmas Day every year, me and my brother, so that was great. And
so there's a waiting list to join the gym?
Not to join, no, you don't. No. You can't really join.
Right, okay.
It's like an Aladdin's cave of a gym as well, so it's got loads of fantastic equipment in. Yeah. He sells gym equipment, so that's how I first got to know him many years ago. And he is one of the best coaches I've ever spoke to. So yeah, check out Mo Power. Might be Mo Strength, Mo Power, something along those lines. It's in Bolton, fantastic gym. I'll give another A-tier gym, Bionic Strength, fantastic gym in Oldham or Chadderton. I'm trying to think of some other gyms. Metcon Gym, who Stevie trains at. Yeah, I'd say that's in the B tier as well.
That's right in our branding as well. I always like looking at it and go, well, that's quite nice for our branding.
Yeah, exactly. Should we give a flop? Should we be controversial?
Yeah, go on then.
We once did a course, in a gym in Liverpool. And it was definitely a flop. I actually can't remember the name of it now.
No, I'm not too sure. I mean, it's not there anymore, to be fair.
Oh, yeah, it's not there anymore.
We found out today it's not there anymore.
Sounds weird, but there was no parking, which is obviously a big problem. The steps were extremely steep, and the equipment was somewhat poor and always broken. And they were always changing it around, so half the gym was always unusable. So much to the point where people would spit on the floor, and it was common practice. And people would be showering next to the toilet, and it was as if that was normal. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, we haven't used our gym for many years, just for reference. Yeah.
We did it once there, and we didn't really know what the gym was going to be like. It was supposed to be under refurb, and then it just never happened. So but yeah, we're gonna, in the comments, guys, let us know where your gym would rank, and also give us some recommendations on gyms we should visit. Yeah. Because the prerequisite is we have to have visited it and trained there. Yeah. We can't just rank a gym off the cuff. So like for me, I would say Dedicated in Liverpool would be a C, where a lot of people would rate that a lot higher. Okay. It's just not my thing. It wasn't my vibe. I didn't enjoy it too much. There's a couple of gyms in Bury that I used to train at called Silvers and Olympic. I would rate them like a C tier. not the best gyms in the world, not the best for equipment, but absolutely loved them.
Well, I'm going to Loughborough next week, so I'll be able to deke out
power plates and bar tracking and
let me see if I can get into the gym there at Loughborough.
And make sure you get in the athletes one.
Well,
it's better.
I think I'm going to the swimming pool, so I might be able to see if I can.
I've got another flop gym.
The gym.
Athlus.
Right, okay, yeah. Well, if I was talking about that to someone at the weekend.
Too much cardio equipment.
Yeah. I was saying for the price.
Shocking vibe.
The spa's great, but the actual gym itself not.
Vibe's so important to me.
Yeah.
Just people being painful to deal with and pretentious, not my thing.
No.
Not people not actually wanting to train, but I like a lot of the people there, and I liked a lot of the gym. Love the spa.
Yeah.
And I love the food. But the gym.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Just specifically that level.
Yeah.
All of the other levels great.
Yeah.
Other than that,
like
not too
60 pieces of cardio equipment, but 2 squat racks.
Yeah.
Just painful. I think there might be 3 now. But yeah, that's a flop. So guys, let us know in the comments what gym would be in what tier. Let us know where your gym would be, and let us know some gyms we should go and visit.
Yeah. Adios. That's it for us for another episode.
Hasta luego. Have a fantastic week, month. Go and check out our other podcast, guys. And the next one is a big one. Episode 50.